What's going on, guys? This is Matt Marinoff. I got a special guest tonight, JJ Azizan. And this gentleman, unfortunately, is a Dodgers fan, as you can see. He's representing. And I'm actually happy to have him on. We've been following each other for a couple of years now, at least two or 3 years, maybe. Uh, and the guy, he's got a ton of knowledge. He has been in the commercial realm for 30 years or so. He had hair when we started in the industry, and now he just has facial hair. So the reason why I wanted to have JJ on was a couple different reasons. One, he is professionally trained. He does run one or two different groups. I know you have, what is it, Coast to Coast?
Yeah, Coast to Coast REI Networking, which is a national networking group for students of a particular educational real estate program.
Which was pretty cool because we were on there, and I know that you put it out there, and I think there was about 39 people that actually came on. There was an open forum, and then you had like these different rooms where people could go into, which was a really great concept in itself. And I put up there, look, if anybody wants to know more about short sales, and I think out of the 39, I think the total tally of people that actually reached out to me were about 28.
Cool.
So that's a strong, obviously, hold on. People wanted to find out more about, the short sale industry and try to get more information, for me in general. But I'm very pleased to have you on. I appreciate you taking the time. I know we have a little bit of a time zone difference. It's 12 o'clock here. What is it, 9 o'clock there?
Yeah, 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Got it. So you had to get up a little extra early today just so you could make sure that your hair was done, correct?
Yeah, I'm up at about 5:30 every morning, to tell you the truth.
What the hell are you getting up so early in the morning for?
I just find it's a lot easier to make use of my day in the morning than if I'm up late at night. I'm probably not as productive. I'm probably watching TV or doing something that's not as effective. If I'm up early in the morning, I can knock out some laundry. I can do some reading. I can do some studying. I can check on my business emails. And I find that I can be really productive between 6 and 8 a.m.
All the women that are watching right now, all they heard was you do laundry, and the rest got blocked out. So no, honestly, no, this is cool. I love having you on here. There's a couple of questions, obviously, I want to ask you about yourself, and I want people in my auditorium, my realm, to get to know you. And if they want to reach out to you, the whole concept of the Short Sale One-on-One group, obviously, is to have experiences and meet new people and educate, and to have an open forum where people can ask questions. And I thought it was important to have somebody of your stature on my live stream. So thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate the opportunity.
JJ, is there anything you want to add or maybe say about yourself, or maybe tell people a little bit about yourself before I get into the questions I want to ask?
Yeah, I think one of the things I like to throw out is something that I hear when I'm talking to people who have more experience or more knowledge in fields that I'm interested in, is that, I'm just a regular person. I'm just like everybody else. There are many things I'm learning and I'm a beginner at, and some things I have a little bit of knowledge at. And I just try and treat everybody equally and be the best person I can. And I'm an open book. There's, want to ask me a question, I'm game.
That's great. That's obviously that's very important. I'm looking at one of the streams that I have on my company page, and they actually have it set up, which I think is pretty cool, for the hearing impaired. So if somebody actually can't, but if they actually want to read what we're talking about, so I have to watch what I say, because I don't know how the F word would come out. If it's going to come out with like F and then like star, whatever it is. So I'm going to leave it at that. But anyway, so let's get into some of the questions. And I already see people popping up some things here as far as comments. We'll get to those in a little bit.
Great.
So let's see. Question 1. So what has been your biggest challenge that you had to overcome in getting basically where you are, today in the market?
I think my biggest challenge is getting out of my own way. You know, I grew up as a kid that was shy. I stuttered. I was picked on and bullied. And it wasn't easy for me to start reaching out to people. It wasn't easy for me to make connections and make friendships. And as I've progressed through, my experiences and I talk to newer people, I frequently hear that the things a lot of people say is that, they're shy, they're quiet, they're reserved, and they don't know how to get out and make that break. And so I think, the biggest thing I had to learn was, just how to be comfortable with myself, get out of my own way, and just be an open book.
I mean, so you've been in real estate for how many years?
Oh gosh, I was a broker for a while. My dad started collecting real estate when I was a kid. So I've been going to property since I was a teenager before I could drive. I've been a property owner for about 30 years now, owning commercial real estate. My dad decided at one point in time, let's see how you do. Let's get your feet wet. Let you start off with these 2 properties and see how you do. And so about 30 years, I got into dealing with tenants, dealing with City Hall, dealing with leases and contractors and real estate attorneys. And I learned by diving in. There was no prep, no prep to it at all.
That's good. Sometimes the best thing you could do is jump out of a plane without a parachute.
There you go.
Hope somebody's jumping out right behind you with a parachute, just in case, but you never know. Okay. This is actually, to me, this is important because I know a lot of people don't like or maybe don't take education serious. Well, what role is in education has played in the growth as you personally as a businessman?
I think that's a great question. My mom was a school teacher, so she made sure that my brother and I were exposed to different types of things, piano lessons, whatever it happened to be. But I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to go to college. And I got in by the skin of my teeth. I was on academic probation. I had to constantly go through dropping out to get my classes, but I fulfilled requirements to get my business degree. And out of college, I worked in corporate aerospace for Hughes Aircraft Company. And what made that job happen was the fact I had a business degree. I had worked for Hughes Aircraft for about 5 years, and to do changes in the government and cutbacks in the Star Wars program, I worked for Hughes Aircraft Company Space and Communications Group. And when that kind of fell by the wayside, there was a transition in my life. A close friend of mine passed away, and I wasn't quite sure where I was going to go. And living in Los Angeles and in Hollywood, grew up in the Hollywood Hills, I had an opportunity to fall backwards into the film industry. And I started out picking up trash and serving coffee. And I soon found I felt my education helped me because I had an aptitude to learn and to succeed and to try and do well. Whatever someone's doing, whether it's athletics, selling real estate, buying real estate, sales or marketing, you're competing with other people, you're competing with yourself. And so there has to have some, belief in yourself, some self-confidence. And education can prepare you for that because ideally people are my dogs. Ideally people are developing work habits and study habits and developing skills that will apply to many different forums.
Right.